Welcome to Explain America. I'm your host, Kyle Becker. Well, President Trump just sent a political earthquake throughout Washington, D.C. yesterday. And the fallout, it's still going on. He just did one of the most unprecedented things that any president has done. He has issued a firing of an official that D.C. just thinks is untouchable. But we will see about that. But before we get into that, please like, share, and comment Explain America. Join us. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now, the Federal Reserve has been an almost unaccountable body in the United States since it was founded under the Wilson administration. The Federal Reserve, it's supposed to set interest rates for the United States. And although it is called a federal body, it was created by Congress to essentially work as an institution that coordinates policy between various branches. The problem with this is the Federal Reserve cannot be an executive body that stands outside the executive branch. This is unconstitutional, and it's about time that President Trump bring this attention to the American people. So on Monday, Trump ousted Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, alleging she lied on mortgage forms by declaring two primary residences. Sounds familiar, right? Letitia James, anyone? So in a letter to Cook, Trump said the Federal Reserve Act provides that she can be removed at his discretion. In a letter to Cook, Trump said the Federal Reserve Act provides that she can be removed, and it is Constitution 101 that the executive branch has authority over all executive decisions. Well, here's the problem. Lisa Cook is refusing to go. However, she is not on strong legal ground to defy the President of the United States. No matter how much Politico and the other mainstream outlets may get the vapors over this story, they are not unaccountable. Again, this idea that these federal bureaucrats, these so-called civil servants, sit somehow above the executive branch and are untouchable by them is a toxic and absolutely insane concept. We have a Constitution of the United States, and if we do not go by the Constitution, then it is chaos. It is anarchy. We have these institutions for a reason, and to have bodies outside the executive branch that can flaunt the executive branch, that can run contrary to it, such as by refusing to lower interest rates, which is almost certainly harming the economy, then that is a split in the executive authority of the country that is going to lead to friction. It's going to lead to a lack of coordination. It's going to lead to anarchy at the end of the day. And it seems to me that this is what the radical left actually wants. It's anarchy. So Lisa Cook refusing to go, thinking she somehow outranks the President of the United States, it is lunacy, and we need to put an end to it. So I'm glad President Trump is bringing this to our attention. The Federal Reserve, in many ways, has been acting like an unconstitutional, untouchable body with no accountability to the American people. And enough is enough, because nobody appointed these people to be co-rulers of the United States. And that includes the banking industry. Somehow these banks have some kind of untouchable authority that is created out of thin air under progressive so-called President Woodrow Wilson. No, it's time to get back to the Constitution and the rule of law to have actual executive authority. Of course, have checks and balances, but that's the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. It's not the Federal Reserve branch, okay? You are an institution under executive authority. Case closed. End of story. That's Constitution 101. And this should be a quick story. And hopefully the Supreme Court can rule on this matter, because we need to say in black and white, the Federal Reserve is under the authority of the President of the United States. Otherwise, it's an unconstitutional and illegitimate body. This has been Kyle Becker with Explain America. Please weigh in with your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you.